please help your family members. Please help a loved one. Please help somebody that maybe you don't even like that much. Please help them get a vaccine as well, because ultimately this is about all of us together fighting this pandemic.
Governor Jay Inslee announcing that 2-week pause in his reopening plan today, meaning Spokane County will stay in phase 3 for now. Also tonight, we are looking into what this all means for Ferry County, as they were just moved back to phase 2 last week. Everything they need to do to get back on track after a super spreader event in Republic.
That's a great thing for us. That's a great thing for the community, a great thing for kids. So we were ecstatic.
And the Pacific Northwest qualifier is set to come to the Inland Northwest for 2 weekends this month. Now Spokane's health officer is proposing a new testing strategy to make sure the event can still take place safely.
And we are tracking temperatures soaring into the 70s. I'll have that and the rest of your forecast next.
Well, after much anticipation, Spokane County will be staying in phase 3. Today, Governor Jay Inslee announced a 2-week pause in reopening, which means all counties will stay in their current phase. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us here for Crime News at 6 o'clock. I'm Whitney Ward. Tom is on assignment and Mark is off tonight. Now, we want to stress it's very important to note that this 2-week pause is just a temporary stay. We want to get right to our political reporter, Casey Decker, right now, who has details about Governor Jay Inslee's announcement today, why he chose to go this route in the first place, and what it really means here in Spokane County. Casey?
Well, Whitney, for weeks now we've been talking about how bad our numbers are here in Spokane and how they're not good enough to meet the metric goals the governor set for reopening. With our numbers, we were expecting to be sent back to phase 2 this week, but Inslee changing up the plan yet again. What he's essentially done, like you mentioned, is put a pause on these evaluations. The state will hold off for 2 more weeks before actually sending any counties forward or backward. The governor said this is because even though we are in the midst of a 4th wave, that wave is now peaking, plateauing. So basically we don't expect it to get worse. And furthermore, he said this wave is less deadly than past waves thanks to the vaccine. So he believes the best course of action here is to hold off on any phase changes for another 2 weeks and to continue vaccinating people.
And we're pleased that we made priority decisions on who would receive the vaccinations first in a way that has dramatically driven down the death rate, because those who are most vulnerable received the vaccine first. And if we can pause and prevent some disruption of our economy, we think that this is a reasonable step to take. Is it certain in this pandemic? Well, we think it's a reasonable step.
Spokane's health officer, Dr. Frank Velasquez, said he appreciates Inslee's decision. He says the 2 weeks will give Spokane time to distribute more vaccine, to double down on compliance with other protocols, and to get a better sense of just where we're trending. He's hopeful we can remain in phase 3 after this pause, but says it's a long way from a sure thing.
I think it's still difficult to predict, particularly because the numbers are changing on a daily basis. If we do continue the trend that we have, I think our chances will be a lot better. 2 weeks is a good period of time, but sometimes it's not long enough for trends to go in a different direction. Hopefully, these 2 weeks will make a significant difference. I do believe that just when we look at the progress we've made in immunizations, if we continue moving forward, particularly with our younger generations, we should see the benefits of that over the next few weeks.
Now, Inslee also reiterated today that local health officers still, of course, have the power to implement their own restrictions or move their own jurisdictions back in phases. We've seen that just recently in Ferry County. But Dr. Velasquez says he's not considering doing that here in Spokane right now. He did tell me that he would consider more restrictions if the region's healthcare system became overwhelmed, and that he's monitoring that data closely. But again, for now, bottom line here, Spokane dodging a bullet, remaining in phase 3 for at least 2 more weeks. Whitney?
All right, thank you very much, Casey. In the meantime, as of today, Spokane Regional Health is reporting 117 new coronavirus cases since yesterday. No new deaths have been reported, though. Currently, 70 people are hospitalized due to the virus. And Spokane businesses breathing a bit of a sigh of relief after learning that Spokane will stay in phase 3. And with Mother's Day this weekend, those businesses say they're just glad they can keep the doors open. Crime 2's Amanda Rowley talked to several restaurant owners about the governor's decision today.
This is the line of the people that have shown up On Mother's Day last year, Chaps Diner and Bakery launched a curbside oatmeal service. During the shutdown, Chaps did not offer takeout or curbside services and exhausted nearly all of its resources just trying to stay afloat. Owner Celeste Shaw was not sure if they would be able to reopen, but that day, she opened her doors to a line of customers stretching out to the highway.
It was such an amazing day. It was mostly a representation of what Spokane will join forces, to do to support, I guess, one of its own.
Now in phase 3, Celeste hoped this year would be different and her guests could actually dine in for the holiday. But all that hinged on Governor Inslee's announcement.
Like most small businesses today, we were all sitting anxious to hear what Governor Inslee would announce.
Today I'm announcing a 2-week pause on our phased reopening plan.
You could hear the sigh of relief from businesses and restaurants across Spokane.
I absolutely think that it was the right decision, and I would have been frustrated for the decision to be anything other than what it was.
We're definitely pleased that we're not going backwards.
Andy Rooney is the manager at the Max at the Maribel Hotel. He says Mother's Day is one of their busiest holidays for the restaurant. Last year, the Max offered to-go orders, but Andy and his staff are looking forward to serving families in person this year for the holiday.
I have a lot of folks that are ready to work, to like to bring folks back to work if I can, but definitely it's a good thing to see happening.
For many businesses, remaining in phase 3 is good news, and they look forward to making the most of at least the next 2 weeks.
I think for all businesses, this is such an important weekend, and I think that we're going to see Spokane come out in support of it.
Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Today, we also spoke with Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward, who also was very pleased to hear that the county is going to stay in phase 3 for at least the time being.
Our eligibility had broadened just a little more than 2 weeks ago. That's really not enough time to make the kind of difference that we need to make in the community.
So Mayor Woodward, as well as other local leaders, just last week had urged Governor Inslee to keep the county in phase 3, saying that she wanted more time to be able to execute an aggressive vaccination campaign. Today, she told KREM she appreciates that the governor listened.
And I recognize Ferry County's local health decisions. Their decision is going to save lives. It was a stand-up thing to do, and it was a response to a very disappointing super spreader event in Republic, and they took action.
High praise from state leaders today after Ferry County announced a move to phase 2 just last Friday. That's the result, of course, of that super spreader event that infected more than 100 people with COVID in less than 3 weeks. Now today, when I spoke with the top 2 leaders at the Northeast Tri-County Health District, they told me it was the right move at exactly the right time.
Yes, it was very necessary. I feel it was the right decision to make. We did it closely in consultation with the Department of Health. This was not something we took lightly because we had an emergency. We needed to treat it as such.
We, it did not feel that it would be a prudent strategy for us to wait and delay that action when we knew that we had increased cases, strain on the hospital system. Is that we felt that it was just imperative to scale things back just so we could get a handle on this.
Staying in phase 2 now for at least 2 more weeks, what does that mean for you? How does that help you?
So for Ferry County specifically, of staying in phase 2, it gives us an idea of where that trend goes for cases. We want to make sure that we understand that we're seeing a continuation of decreased cases, and that also that we don't overwhelm the hospital system's ability to provide care for those people that need it.
We have very limited staff, and last week we were, I won't say overwhelmed, but at capacity. We had a full hospital with both swing beds as well as acute care beds, and then we were trying to deal with COVID-19 patients coming in fairly ill.
In your opinion, staying in phase 2 for at least 2 more weeks, is that what was necessary? Is that a necessary move to get this outbreak under control?
It still is necessary to really watch this so that we don't get ourselves in trouble. And if it's earlier than that, that'd be great. But I think we just need to be really careful and not to pop the clutch, so to speak.
Matt, do you think 2 weeks will be enough?
I think we're very optimistic and that people can take the necessary precautions. We can turn that curve in the right direction.
Now we know that all of this information today is a lot to keep track of, so if you would like to learn more about Washington's reopening plan and the different phases and how it will impact certain activities, just head to our website, krem.com. You can also text the word reopen to 509-448-2000 and we'll send you all that info right to your cell phone. Well, for the first time in 2 years, which is crazy to say, professional baseball is back in Spokane tonight. Our own Tom Sherry is actually out there at Avista Stadium right this minute, where the Spokane Indians are gearing up for the first pitch, which is coming, in about 20 minutes, Tom?
Yeah, 6:30 is game time, and it is fabulous to be out here. It's a perfect night to watch the boys of summer play baseball. Folks are beginning to file in, and everybody's happy. So this is it, my friend. You got the Mariners hat on, and now you're back. Baseball's back. Yes, first game of the season. I'm loving this. Are the kids loving it?
They're loving it big time.
So did you guys miss it last year when it wasn't available?
We did love it. We did miss it.
Yeah. So now we're back. It's affordable family fun. We got fireworks tonight. So I don't want to hold you up. I just want to say I'll never take this for granted ever again.
Definitely. Yes. Go Indians.
Good to see faces. Good to see you guys, and go Indians. I love that. So yeah, lots of great stuff going on here tonight. Let's get right to the weather. My gosh, couldn't have picked a better opening night to see the Spokane Indians playing. So let's look at the satellite and radar picture if we can, and we'll show you again. We've got mostly clear skies across Washington. Still some isolated showers, as you can see, across areas of western Montana, and a few showers up along the Canadian border in northern Idaho. Here we go with a look at the temperatures. My gosh, does it get any better than this? As you can see, a very pleasant night for us to enjoy. Not much in the wind department, at least out here right now where I'm standing. So your forecast is calling for an overnight low tonight of 40 under mostly clear skies, partly cloudy skies expected tomorrow. We'll look for a daytime high of 72. And my gosh, we've got even warmer weather expected for you. I should take a look at the weekend forecast. Let's look ahead to that. Got a slight chance of showers on Saturday, a high of 60, and then 63 on Sunday. It's going to get even warmer for you on Thursday, but then we're going to track thunderstorms. I'll talk more about that in your 10-day forecast. Live from Avista Stadium. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Back to you, Whitney.
Sounds good, Tom. Looking forward to hearing more about opening night. Thank you so much. Well, the state of Washington